Hello everyone, this is Richard from Mile 62. Today we're going to talk about the sport of rucking. What is rucking? Rucking is it's kind of comes from the word ruck. If you've been in the military, you know what a rucksack is. I wasn't in the military, but I got introduced to the sport of rucking about 2 years ago, and they were holding a race in Texas, and I was very interested in trying it out. I bought a ruck, and ever since then I've been using it for cross training, and I like to do at least one ruck race a year. So basically, ruck comes from the word rucksack in the military. This particular ruck is made by Goruck, and that company was started by some former Army Rangers, and they have been promoting the sport of ruck racing. Got several different types of ruck racing, some short distance trail racing, some like mission type racing. The ones I've been involved in, 48-hour racing, so I covered about 100 miles in that race. To give you a little bit of background on the type of it's basically a backpack, but it's made for carrying a heavy weight. So in this particular backpack made by, or rucksack I should say, made by Goruck, it has a this is called the Speed Ruck. It's specifically made for racing, and it's got a flap in here where you can take out and put this is a 20-pound plate. The plates are made by Goruck as well. It slides in. This pack, it's basically got an envelope here to hold the plate. It's real nice because once you close it, the plate's not going to move around. And then in the top of the Speed Ruck, you can see right here, it also has a pocket to hold a mobile phone or whatever else you want to put in there. So then zip it up and you're good to go. They make a couple different types of plates. I have a 20-pound and I also have a 30-pound plate. And most of the time when I'm racing, I'm using the 20-pound plate. That's called the lightweight division. And they also have a heavyweight division. And races go all the way up to 40, 45 pounds. The Batam Death Race, which is held in New Mexico every year, they require 35 pounds. And so you just got to look into what the requirement is. Sometimes it's based on your body weight. So for me, being above 190, a lot of races require me to use a 30-pound plate. However, when I'm training, I most of the time use my 20-pound plate. 30-pound is pretty heavy. And one thing about ruck racing is it's putting constant pressure on your feet. It's a little bit different than trail racing. So you want to make sure that you have the right equipment for it, and I'll go over that in a minute. But anyways, I got a 30-pound plate, 20-pound plate. Goruck also makes a 10-pound plate and a 40-pound plate. Now keep in mind that some of the Goruck packs will not carry the 40-pound weight. So mine is set up to do 20, 30, and 10. Goruck makes many different types of packs. Like I said before, this is called the Speed Ruck. They also have one called the GR1, which holds a little more stuff, and then they've also got accessories to go with the pack. This Speed Ruck and one plate is about a $200 investment. So I use this, I do some ruck racing, like I said, but I also do it for cross training. So when it's extremely hot, like right now I'm filming this, I'm fixing to go rucking, it's about 95 degrees. When you're getting up in the really high heat, it's not really conducive to trail running. I do it sometimes, but when it's really hot, you're just not going to run very fast. But rucking is no problem because it's speed hiking basically with weight. And I carry my phone, I listen to music. I don't usually listen to music when I'm running, but when I'm rucking I do. And I carry I use my Jaybird Terra Pros, And so I got my phone, so if someone calls me, I can answer calls, I can listen to music. So that's, you know, it's just one type of cross training. One thing interesting about ruck racing is if you pass certain mileage, you can get a belt buckle like in trail racing, like 100K, 100 miler. But in ruck racing, they also give you a patch. So on the back of my pack, I've got the Goruck patch, which comes with the pack. But I also I won this patch in my last ruck race, and so I'm going to be sewing it on the back of here. I just haven't done it yet. And then one of my military friends gave me this one. It's kind of a neat patch. So there are a lot of ruck patches out there. So after you've been racing a while, the back of your backpack will be filled up with a bunch of patches, which is kind of cool. It's very unique for ruck racing. Shoes. I can't strip. Well, let me start with socks. I always use toe socks like I do in trail racing. So right now here you got this. These are Exoscan toe socks. These work very well, and these are Injinji toe socks. These are actually the ultra version. They make 3 different thicknesses. I suggest use a thick sock. I typically use Injinji in trail racing. The only reason is because Exoskin doesn't make a thick sock yet. The reason toe socks are so important in ruck racing is because you're going to get blisters. I don't get blisters in trail racing, but in ruck racing I do get a little bit of blisters even using toe socks. And the way I've been able to beat a lot of my competition is just on maintenance and wearing the right shoes and the right socks, minimalizing how many blisters, because when you got this weight on your back, it's different than being 20 pounds heavier. Having a rucksack is going to put constant pressure on both of your feet on the surface of the ground, and it's a little bit different than trail racing, so it is conducive to causing blisters. When I race, I use Olympus Ultra Olympus 4s. And the reason I do is because I got the large forefoot and the Vibram base. One thing you can do, I do for ruck, when I do my rucking, these are my latest versions of Olympus 4s. I use these just for trail racing. But after I get about 300 miles on them, I transfer them into rucking or cross training. Now if I'm doing a ruck race, I use a new pair, because I may go 100 miles, because I usually do the 48 hours. But like these are Ultra Olympus 4s too, but they've got over 300 miles in them. I even got a tear over here. When Olympus 4s first came out, they had a defect on the side here where they would rip, but they're perfect for rucking. So I kind of rotate my shoes so that, or my Olympus 4s, so that once I get over 300 miles, I'll transfer them into my rucking pool of shoes, and that works very well. But I can't stress enough by using when you do rucking, wear a big shoe, big forefoot, and a lot of padding. You know, these are zero drop, but they've got a lot of padding. I've raced against military folks that'll go out there with on shoes that look like jungle boots, or they'll use actual jungle boots. Those are fine for 10 to 20 miles, but if you're going to race 2 days or even 1 day, 24 hours, your feet are going to get eaten alive, just torn to pieces wearing jungle boots. So secret there, use trail running shoes and use big ones. I also sometimes ruck in my Hoka Evo Mafates. It's also a good shoe, but you want a thick sole. Doesn't have to be zero drop like mine, it can be Hokas, but you want a thick sole and something that's got a kind of a wide forefoot, because you're going to be putting a extra weight on your feet all day long. What else? One other thing about rucking is you want to wear a sleeved shirt. In the wintertime I wear a long sleeve, and I wear polyester. And I don't wear cotton. The reason is because when you have this rucksack on your back, your back's going to sweat because it gets very hot. You've got a plate in there, and these rucksacks, these rucksacks are designed to be flat on your back. So you're gonna sweat. And in the wintertime when it's cold, I'll wear a long sleeve shirt, and I'll wear a down jacket that's sleeveless. And the reason I do that is that down on the right above my waistband on my back, it will give padding so that this plate is not pushing into the bottom of my back. You don't feel that when you're just cross training, 10-20 miles, but if you're going to be out there a day or 2 days, you'll need that padding. It will aggravate the bottom of your back just by rubbing on it. So I will do that. But the reason I say use a sleeved shirt is doesn't matter if you wear squirrel's nut butter or trail toes or whatever, you're going to get chafing under your arm from the straps if you don't have some material under there. And I do that on hydration vests too. I may lube up, but I always use a sleeved shirt. That's very important, especially in the sport of rucking. Another thing that's very important, I'll put this on. When you put this on, it's got, it's heavy. I hold it from one side and I kind of swing it around like that. And then I push from the bottom, and then I grab this and try to straighten up the straps because they'll twist on you. But one thing very important is, well, let me back up a little bit. It's got a waist strap. You want to make that firm, not too tight. Doesn't need to be too tight. And then this is an accessory that you buy. It's about $10. It's called a sternum strap. I bought this from advice from another person. Very important, because when you put the sternum strap together, this is very important. It keeps these big straps from rolling out to the end of my shoulders and wanting the backpack to fall off. So you want to keep this tight. So and also, if you're racing, after a few hours, well, when you first start rucking, it's going to hurt your shoulders because your shoulders are not used to carrying weight like this. But after you get used to it, but then when you start racing, see the straps are right here close to my neck. That area will get tired and irritated, so I'll loosen up the sternum strap to move the straps a little bit out. I'll move them all the way out and then bring them all the way back in. So I'm constantly moving it. But if you don't have the sternum strap, the straps are going to be going all over the place, and the backpack wants to fall off your body because it's got a 20 or 30 pound weight in there. So it's very important. So I can't stress enough to have a sternum strap. And then you also want to wear a hat. I don't have my hat with me right now, but very important. And so good shoes. I suggest Ultra Olympus 4s, toe socks, Injinji, Exoskin, and when you buy a rucksack, I highly suggest use Goruck. They're the leader in the sport. If you're going to buy one, might as well spend a little bit more money. They're the expensive one, and get one that's specifically made for rucking. I've raced against people that use a regular backpack and put sand or bricks in the back. You can do that. You can do it. You just have to meet the weight requirement. They don't require a special kind of backpack. But that thing is, if you put bricks in the back or you don't do it right, it's going to be rubbing into the back of your back. It's just miserable. But it's a $200 investment. Sometimes Goruck has a sale. You buy them from Goruck.com. There are some other competitors out there, worth checking out, but I think Goruck is the best one. And they also have videos, and they also put on races. But then you're set up. Where do you find ruck races? You can find them on Goruck.com, but a lot of trail racing race directors are putting on rucking races. In Texas, we have trail racing over Texas. They have Jackalope Jam, 24 and 48 hours. They usually have them together with trail racing, so that's becoming popular. This year, not this year, but last year, Tejas Trails had a 25-mile ruck race with their Cactus Rose 100-miler. So in Texas, we have 2 regular races every year from trail racing race directors, and then there's a rucking. The sport of rucking has some race directors too. I'm not familiar with them. I just know the big one, Goruck. But from there, you're good to go. So highly suggest it. I think you will like it, and it's just a different kind of cross training to give your body something else. Cycling, weightlifting, rucking, a little bit of everything will boost your trail running. So have a good day.